Hello, welcome to Work Hard, Dream Harder. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Tia, and we're just two best friends waffling about life and trying to survive until we're 30.
Hello, welcome back to another banger of an episode.
It's Mental Health Month. I don't think it's a banger.
Wow.
Maybe we could have banging some mash.
So, like Tia kind of said, with Mental Health Month, we probably missed it because I think it was in May, and I don't know what month we're in now, but...
Any month is Mental Health Month, it's fine.
And we just thought, because we're at a point of our life where comparison consumes us, and it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, so we want this month to kind of be based around mental health and the struggles around it because, you know, our podcast is kind of, we chat a load of rubbish, but also it's stuff that's relevant to us and how we feel. And I think mental health is a very big aspect of our lives and the lives of the people we love as well.
And I think also, because we always said that we want to look back when we're in our 30s, I think it's a good thing to look back on where we were.
I think, was it last week or the week before, we was talking about like social media and how people just kind of put their best lives on blast for everyone to see.
But then that could not be, that
might not be the case.
Truth.
Yeah.
And I think when you're young, you don't realise that people are showing a highlight reel of their life. They're not going to show the time that they're crying or the time that they're so miserable. And I think what I realised is like, you look at these entrepreneurs like Richard Branson, and because you only know for his successes, you don't know his journey from the beginning. That's why we're keeping a track of this. This podcast is like our diary. But you don't know how much, like, Stephen Bartlett puts this in perspective, that when he was young, got kicked out, dropped out of uni, he was stealing, like, meals to survive. But you only see him for the end product. But he can tell you times where he's been in the ditch, you know, that kind of vibe. But we only fixate on the highlight glamour when everybody has to deal with shit, but you're not going to post that on social media.
No. But it's tough though, isn't it? If people are out there kind of saying all this good stuff that's happened to them and you're having a pretty bad time, it's really hard to kind of overcome that. If that makes sense. Like,
yeah, and I think it's like,
I don't know how to describe it. It's just difficult.
Like with hustle culture, like we've told, if everybody says it's easy, if everybody says you have no excuse, you've got the access to social media, and it makes you feel shit. And especially when I'm neurodivergent, so if you don't know, I'm dyslexic. That pressure of, well, you can make it, like social media's at your tips, and I'm like, yeah, but I've got other issues that make it even harder. But all I see is these people who are capable, and even other dyslexic people, like I see who are dyslexic, but then I'm like, oh, well, they've done it, why can't I? It's no excuse. But then you got to realise it's all about perspective. Like, I've always said that I'm on my own journey, and I know that, yeah, I'm living with my mum at the moment, but then I know there's better things for me in the future, but it's taking time. When instant gratification, like when you post somebody just gives you that instant gratification, they likes. But when it comes to a career, it's long, and we say like people like Oprah Winfrey and Anna Rickman, like they got their successes a lot later in life, but we get brainwashed that if you're not doing it in your 30s, if you're not in the Forbes under 30 being a billionaire, you're doing it wrong. And I'm like, oh, then I must be. But then that's because you're consuming. Yeah. In a society, we should never be that connected with other people. Because
this kind of reflects back what we were saying like a few weeks ago, wasn't it?
I think it's so easy to care what people think, because with like social media, like LinkedIn, it's just like you see people's successes and it makes you feel like, oh, they're similar age to me, why am I not like that? But you don't know that you're on different pathways.
Yeah, and it's like, it's really hard for us to sit there and say, don't compare yourself to other people, that's stupid, that's not a good idea. And it's easy to say don't compare yourself to other people, but it's also like, don't compare yourself to your ideal. And what I mean by that is, I don't know, say you're going through something in life and you think you should be coping with it fine and you don't, that's okay. I mean, literally last night at work, I was on shift with my colleague, and out of nowhere, nothing in particular happened. They closed down, which is something she does 3 times a week. All of a sudden really overwhelmed her, and she just started crying, and she just needed to get it all off her system. And we all have days like that. I have days like that with something that normally I can cope perfectly fine with. It's all of a sudden I can't. And it's like what we say, mental health isn't linear, it goes up and down. And just because you're... I keep saying the word coping, and I'm not sure that's always the right word, but just because you're not reacting to something the way that you thought you should be, that's okay as well. Obviously, to an extent, don't overreact on purpose for no reason, but like, you are just human. Don't compare yourself to other people, and don't compare yourself to how you think you should be as well.
And I think, when it comes to our successes and our comparisons, so I've realised that we're good at this. I can be like, oh my god, Tia, congratulations. But then again, I'm like, oh, love that for you, but it's just not the right time for me.
Yeah.
So and sometimes I moan about little things, and then it's all about perspective. And Tia says, well, it's that thing, right time, wrong moment, you don't know. And it's like, we're always there like, God's plan. Like, if you're spiritual, like, we always say that might not today, maybe another day. And I think we're good at that to kind of, like, I think especially when you're in a big friend group and people are like, we're not at the point yet where people are getting married and having children, but we're at that point where
everyone's at a different stage.
Yeah, everybody's at a different place, and I think people are settling down and like finding houses. And for me, I know that's not in my stars, and I didn't want that yet, right? But it's just like that sheep mentality. If everybody's doing it, you feel left out. But knowing in my heart, I'm not ready to buy a house yet. And if I did, I know I might not want to in the future. But it's like, how do you stop that thought? But I realised that. But then you put in perspective, I'm still pursuing a creative career.
Yeah.
I've still got that in my stars, but it's hard for people to see that.
It's hard, but also, like, don't compare yourself to other people because they might be in a better position than you, and it might drag you down. But also, this also goes with, don't compare yourself to other people if you're doing better. So the best example I can think of, and this is probably going to sound really big-headed, and I don't mean for it to, I started off really strong. So I was the youngest ever supervisor at my company. I was the youngest, and I still am the youngest assistant manager. And I got promoted really, really quickly. I've been there 4 years and I've had 3 promotions. I've gone up the ranks really, really quickly. But now I'm going to stagnate. And I think I was saying to you, there is only one more promotion I can get. And that's it for the rest of my career here. And I'm only in my early 20s, but I'm already stagnating. There's no more, I mean, like I said, there's one more promotion I can get, but there's nowhere else for me to go, really. And I wasn't doing it on purpose, but I was comparing myself to other people who, I don't know, who had like a minimum wage job or something, and I thought, oh, I'm doing really well for myself. I'm doing quite good. You okay?
Yeah, I was just gonna
Yeah, try not to look at it though. And I was comparing myself to other people, and now because I'm stagnating, and these people who started like maybe a few steps behind me, they've caught up and are surpassing. A lot of people I went to school with are doing really bloody well for themselves, and now I'm comparing myself against these same people who I used to compare myself to and think, oh, I'm doing better than them. Not like, haha, I'm doing better than you, but just in like, oh, I'm doing pretty well for myself. And now I'm seeing that they're doing miles better than I am. And that's made me feel 10 times worse than if I would have just never compared myself at all.
But you know, the kicker is, right? We don't know what these people are going through, yeah? So, because I was talking about relationships with you, and it's just like, well, I've never experienced that, and I'm in my 20s, right? But then again, it's just like, we were talking about, you never know what you are willing to compromise or what that. So just because I haven't experienced it with people, it doesn't make me, I don't know how you put it. It doesn't mean anything because I'm on my own journey, and you got to remember, you are on your own journey, and you don't know what people are hiding because it's social media just makes it easier for you to think, oh, they're all right, but you don't know the arguments, you don't know what's going on, and I think that's what I just say, fuck it, right? Make your own rule book, because at the end of the day, people get success in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Who made this arbitrary, like, I don't know, there was this quote from Brandon Bridges, it's like, I'm 27, I have no money, I have no prospects, that little TikTok star. But like, back in the day, these things came from people died quicker. So like, we live longer, so who's to say that just because you're not like,
what's like the average lifespan now? Is it like 90 or something like that? Whereas back in the day it was like 40 or 50.
And I think we should reframe it as just like, what are you living for? What's your purpose? Are you happy? Because you can always have that ambition to want more, but sometimes you gotta appreciate you got a roof over your head, you got food, that's what it took me. Yeah, I'm living under my mum's house, but I don't have to worry about food, money, bills yet because I'm at that luxury, so it gives me time to work for free, volunteer. If I was, it's like perspective, it's fucking about perspective.
Absolutely.
Because I always say, oh, I've got no proper job, I'm only working 8 hours, but fuck yeah, but I make the time to do my creative shit. And I think as well, it's all about fucking perspective, right? That's all I'm saying. It's just like, you should never judge a book by its cover, yeah? And that goes to the same about a person. You can admire them and be like, yeah, fuck yeah. But it should never be, I'm swearing I'm going to get this bloody podcast demonetized, but I'm so passionate about like, so it's like,
don't compare yourselves, bring each other up, don't compare.
So it's like, I volunteer with a lot of young people who are like, there was this girl, she was 18 and she was interested in film. And I know there was this program that it was like 18 to 19-year-olds doing like a film course. And I missed that. Instead of being spiteful, I was just like, oh, this is the perfect thing that I didn't do, I think you should do. But I could have been bitter about that I never got to do it and gatekeeped it. But I was just like, yeah, I think you should do it. Because I think as well, it's just like, this is another thing. We mourn our loss of uni. Like, if you've listened to the podcast, you know that we were COVID victims of education. Like,
yeah, our uni life got destroyed by COVID. Like, literally every single year of uni was ruined because of COVID.
I have to say, like, to one of these people I worked with, yeah, one of our assignments, we had to scramble making a edit using our test footage. And it was even that we couldn't even do the
test footage was atrocious. It was, what was it? Was it we were making a TV show?
Like a game show type of
We was making like a game show and we had all these elaborate plans. And this test footage that was filmed right at the beginning of the year, I don't think I was even in the class yet because I joined late.
And it's test footage for a reason, right?
It's not even test footage for the actual game show. It was, I think you guys were testing out the studio equipment for the first time ever. And we just had some random acting students in the studio and they had no idea what they were doing. And then you guys had no idea what you were doing. And that was the footage we had to use for our final year.
It should have been that way. But going back, the reason why I mention it is we're mourning that, like, oh, what if? We were comparing a life that we didn't live. So we were saying, oh, we could have built a network because we were meant to do this and we were meant to do that, and now we're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what we're comparing a life that we thought we were living, or
Should have been.
is that mourning that fantasy version, and now we've got to be like, yeah, but you don't know if it spanned out that way, right?
Yeah.
So that's another comparison that we have to deal with, is comparison to things that are out of our control. And I think what I realised, as long as you're happy, I think, but then again, you have
But
pressure
even
from other
that
people.
happiness though is,
Weird.
yeah, we're going to talk about this in a future episode, but mental health doesn't go in a linear line. So make sure you're happy, make sure you do things that make you happy, but also don't beat yourself up if you're not always happy, because that's okay.
Because you'll always be keeping up with the Joneses, like the Kardashians, because you might say, oh, it's like a billionaire says, oh, when I get my first billion, get the car, but then they don't have no purpose, and then they're like, oh,
What now?
what now? So sometimes you have to make those mistakes to appreciate what you have now, and I think it took me a lot of time to do that. So, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to hit you.
Abuse.
Oh, true. I've got all the hitting out now.
Wow, I think that's a perfect.
But yeah, basically, long story short, comparisons. Oh, what's that saying?
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, comparisons is the thief of joy. So please try not to compare yourself. We know it's hard, and sometimes you can't help but compare yourself. But try not to let it rule your life.
So and I think that is a difference. You can't stop looking at the phone. Well, that's been us.
Work hard, dream harder,
Left
and stop comparison. Comparison.
Because you whispered it.
Work hard, dream harder, and stop comparing yourself to other people. Yay!
We're coming to the end of the episode. Thank you for listening. Like we say, work hard, but dream even harder.